Hi everybody, Gordy Sorensen, Remax Home Group, Twin Power Team. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the expenses in being a buyer and some of the expenses of being a seller. So a seller's side has fewer items, and I'll just run through that real quick. So you're going to have abstract continuation, so you have to get your abstract ready to go to the buyer. Some deed and document prep, so seller docs, preparation of that. Commission on the sale, so the seller in our market typically pays all the commission on the sale. I know some markets the buyer pays their own fees and the seller pays their own fees. In our market it's pretty common, completely common, that the seller would pay the commission to the listing broker. And then most offices have like a transaction fee that is a kind of a document prep and kind of document holding and storage of documents that's required. Blackhawk County, you pay a little bit of tax stamp too, typically in the few $100 range, $200 to $500 depending on the price of your house. Also, you're going to pay your taxes current, so your taxes are always paid in the rear. So the tax bill that you're just paying right now, and this is September right now, the tax bill you're going to pay now is really for 2020. So when you sell a home, typically you bring the taxes current. That's a little bit different in market to market too, but that's pretty common for our market that you would pay the taxes current. From the buying side, you have most of your expenses associated from your lender. So if you're a buyer that's paying cash, you're not going to have as many of these things, and I'll kind of hit on that as we go. But from a buying side, you don't have to pay commission. The seller's paying that. So when you're worried about, geez, what's it going to cost me to have you run around and show me a bunch of houses? Well, technically it doesn't cost you anything to have us show you a bunch of houses. Except with the exception of some of those fees, like that transaction fee that's also on the buying side. And you're going to have, like I said, fees to your lender typically. So I just grabbed somebody's settlement statement, no names. There's on this particular one, there's a little bit of a commitment fee from their lender. That can vary from market to market. This one's $450. I've seen them $1,000. I've seen them at 1%. Years ago, they sometimes were 2%. But anyway, they're usually fairly reasonable. An appraisal. So an appraisal is something that you wouldn't have to do if you were paying cash. But if you're using a lender, the lender will do an appraiser. An appraiser is like a third party that evaluates the home to determine the value and make sure everybody's consistent. You're going to have some stuff like a credit report and flood certification and some deed and documentation filings and recording at the county level. You're also going to have the title opinion fee. So you're going to get a title opinion, which you would do even on a cash transaction, to make sure that there's nothing against that property, that you have a clean title, that you know that you're going to be the owner. And then the title exam, and then title guarantee. And so title guarantee is with the state of Iowa, and that would guarantee that the work they did is correct. So if there's a mistake later, then that's going to help like an insurance on that. Some recording fees there, deed and so forth. If you're using a lender, they're gonna start to build your escrow account a little bit. So they're gonna collect some property tax, so that when that bill comes due a year from now, then that they've already started that fund. So they're gonna grab some interest from you for the days before your first payment's due. They're gonna also have some insurance premium money that goes into that escrow account to get that started. So kind of boot that up so that it's calculated out that it'll be there when it needs to be there. And property taxes, like I said. So, and the property taxes are going to, because they're being paid by the seller, so they'll show up as a credit on your first page on your buying side, that you'll get a credit for some taxes, and then your lender will take some taxes out to build that escrow account. On a cash transaction, you're going to have typically we use a closing service. So like in this case, it was title services, so there's a fee there. You're going to still want that title opinion, and most of the time we're not doing an appraisal, although somebody could. You could still do an appraisal, but generally we're not doing that. But we want to make sure we have clean title, that it's done professionally at a closing service, and that it's all handled, and that we get the deed and we have all that in order. So Certainly any other questions or anything that you might think of, reach out to somebody from your Twin Power team. I know you guys aren't as involved in these as we are. We do these, every week. So we're going through these settlement statements all the time to make sure they're correct for you, for our buyers and sellers, before you even see it typically. So our goal is to make sure that they're correct when you get it, and that everything goes and flows simply. So give us a call with any other questions or anything anybody else from the team can help you with. Again, Gordy Sorensen, Remax Home Group, Twin Power team. Thank you.